So hey guys, yeah, I know that I haven't made a video in a while, and so I decided, since my last one was really super short, I was going to make this one a little bit longer. So, I decided since it was October and we're getting really close to Halloween, I decided that from now on we'll have like a countdown to Halloween. And so I decided I would read scary stories out loud. In the dark. It's daylight out. Okay, so the first story is called The Hatchet Man, and it was retold by a guy named S.C. or girl, don't know, S.C. Scholzer, and it's on, sorry if I just slaughtered your name, and it's on AmericanFolklore.net if you want to go and read it yourself. It's pretty freaky. First time I read it, I was in a dorm. Smart. And it was like really late at night in the dark. Yeah, not smart. It's like 2 years ago. It doesn't really scare me anymore, but it is pretty freaky. So here we go. There were warnings all over campus about a hatchet man who supposedly abused and killed women in Bloomington. All the girls were warned to walk in pairs and to stay in brightly lit areas if they had to go out at night. A sophomore and her roommate were staying in the empty dorm over Thanksgiving break, since both their families were out of the country. They grew very bored as day followed boring day and night followed boring night. Tired of staying inside every night for fear of the hatchet man, her roommate suggested that they had dinner at the local bar. Smart. The sophomore agreed. The two women lingered longer than anticipated, and it was almost midnight when the sophomore, more than a little drunk, decided to walk back to the dorm. Her roommate was busy flirting with the bartender, so she headed into the dark, silent streets alone. A sophomore had forgotten all about the hatchet man, which how can you forget about him? Gosh. Anyways. So she'd forgotten about the hatchet man. It wasn't until a shortcut through a dark, creepy alley that she remembered there was a desperate murderer on the loose. The sophomore shivered, feeling sober and very much alone. She felt as if hostile eyes were peering out of her from every menacing shadow and darkening doorway. She quickened her pace. Was that heavy breathing she heard behind her? Were those footsteps walking in time with her own? A sophomore broke into a run, heart pounding fiercely. Sure that someone was following her. She darted onto the college campus, zigzagged through the building, and flung herself panting into the dorm. She pounded up 3 flights of stairs, down the hall, and slammed into her room, locking the door behind her. It was only then, leaning against the door with her heart pounding, that she started to feel foolish. Yeah, I would too. There were no sound from the hallways. No footsteps, no heavy breathing, no hatchet breaking through the wood of the door. She'd been a fool. Not quite. The sophomore staggered to the bathroom to wash up for the night, leaving the front door locked behind her. She kept glancing in the mirror to make sure everything was secure. The scene in the mirror was normal, and there was no sound in the empty dorm. Everything was just fine, she told herself. Sucker. Anyways. Then she remembered her roommate was still at the bar. She didn't want her roommate to walk home alone, so she called the bar and asked the manager if he would arrange for the roommate to be brought home by a taxi. The music in the background was loud, so she wasn't sure if he understood, but at least she had tried. Sure. I would have done that too, if me and my roommate ever went to a bar, which we don't. Yay, we were smart. The sophomore curled up in bed with a reading lamp on, determined to wait up for her roommate, but the combination of heavy drinking and her earlier fright sent her into a deep sleep, almost at once, and she didn't awaken until the sun poured in through her window the next morning. That would be me. She woke with a hangover and rolled over, trying not to be sick in bed. When she looked across the room, she realized that her roommate wasn't in bed on the far wall. In fact, it looked as if her bed hadn't been slept in at all. Surprise, surprise. She rolled to her feet, heart pounding with dread. Maybe her roommate had spent the night in the lobby. Her roommate had done that once before, when out partying in the wee hours of the morning, saying it was too much trouble to walk up 3 flights of stairs. With trembling hands, the sophomore unlocked the door and wrenched it open in search of her roommate. The unmistakable, faintly metallic scent of blood smashed into her nostrils as the door swung open. That was her only warning. Before her shocked eyes saw blood splattered all over the walls and floor of the 3rd-floor hallway. She screamed in terror, leaping backwards away from the partially decapitated body of her roommate, which lay dead at her feet. Her throat was slit from end to end, and blood pooled over her dead body. The nails of her outstretched hands were torn and splintered where they had scratched desperately at the door. A black shadow lay across her roommate's body. She looked up in a daze, her gaze following the black shadow to its source. Embedded in the wooden frame near the entrance to the staircase was a blood-stained hatchet, outlined in the light of the rising sun. So I decided, if the story isn't too long, I'll do 2 of them. So I decided to do a second one, which is really short. It's like literally a paragraph. But it's called Photographic Memories by Annie Bananas. Don't ask me. I don't make these names up. She wrote it, and it's at Jezebel.com. Don't know anything about it. Whatever. Okay, so here's the story. I grew up in New Mexico and I was always very into the outdoors, hiking, camping, rock climbing, etc. One summer when I was 19, I went on a 4-day, 3-night camping trip near my parents' house on my own. Very smart. Might sound weird, but I had been into this area many times and it was quite safe. Anyways, I brought my camera and took lots of pictures. When I came back and developed my film, there were 3 pictures that I didn't take. Of me. Sleeping. 1 each night. None of my stuff was missing or stolen, and nothing happened. But it freaked the hell out of me. That would freak the hell and the shit out of me. Good Lord, that would scare me so bad. I'd be like, ugh. But anyways, so that was it. And if you want me to keep doing this, and even if you don't, leave some comments below telling me if there's a good scary story you want me to tell. I might just do that. So, enjoy the rest of your day. Bye.